Hello everyone. Today we are going to take a look at a Blender preset that I have done, which is a call out preset. This call out preset, as you know, in Blender there's currently no built-in call out preset that you can animate the text very easily and procedurally. So I have done one here, and I want to show you how can you install it, and if you faced any issue and some issues that you may face, and I will show how can you overcome these issues. You will have any Blender scene that you have. I just have a blank scene here. What you need to do, you will open your file and append, and you need to move to the file that I have here attached. Um, Here is the file that I have uploaded. You will see it in the description. If you open it, you can open objects and you can choose call out, empty, and stroke. You need to choose these three objects, and I will talk about each of them in the video. So here are these objects. If you go to a render view, you can see here you have the call out here. This call out, you have here a pointer. This pointer you can move it whatever you want. As you can see, the arrow is attached to it, and you have here, this is a call out itself object. It has a modifier here, which is a geometry node modifier that I have used to make this preset. Basically, you have here an animation factor that will allow you to animate this object very easily. Now you can just upload this into your append this into your file and with the whatever text you want, and you will just need to animate it that the way that you want, like that. And let's see the controls that you have. You have the control over changing the text, obviously, and here, as you can see, when you change the text automatically it fits the text box fits the screen, the text itself. And you have the ability to change the size. This is the size of the text, and everything is procedurally changing the size with it, and the animation will stay working just fine. And you have the ability to change the character spacing. Let's say, for example, you want it to be compact, you want it to be more spread, whatever you want. And you have a control over word spacing, over line spacing. Line spacing is based on if you have multiple lines. Let's say, for example, you have here a very long text like that. This is a very long text. Basically, if you want to animate that in a call out, you will need to have it to be some sort of 2 lines, 3 lines, something like that. So here we come to the text box. Text box width basically gives Blender the maximum text box width. You can specify it, but it will only have a minimum that can hold a complete word, one complete word in a single line. I mean, it will not compress it into multiple lines. It will only make the words into different lines, but every single word will need to be maintained in a single line. Let's say, for example, if I made the text box very, very small, very narrow like that, it will never be smaller than that, because this is the maximum that this can actually hold. This is the word here is a limitation that we can't make with some smaller than that. So basically, you have a control here over the text box width, and you have a control now over line spacing that you can change like that, and you can see everything is changing with you, as you can see. And you have a control over the text color. You have a control over color A, which is the color of this background here. whatever color you want to choose. And you have color B here, which is this one here. This one here is shown during the animation itself. This is the color that I'm talking about. If you change this color, you can see everything is changing just as you want, just to have a customization for the whole animation if you want. You have a curve radius. This one changes the radius of this arrow here. You can make it whatever size you want. And you have here also a text box scaling. As you can see here, already the text box is fitting, is adjustable by itself, automatically adjusting itself to fit the text. But you have also the ability, if you want to increase the margin, you can increase the X margin, you can increase the Y margin, and that will not affect anything in your animation. Everything will work just fine. And you have here a control over the arrow color. You have also a control over the offset arrow in X, Y, and Z. This one is basically, sometimes you want this line to be closer to the textbook. Sometimes you want to have it attached to it. Now this one here is the empty that points towards your object. Let's say, for example, if you make a duplicate of this empty, you can actually choose that empty. You have here an empty that can point out to whatever you want. So this is basically how you choose your empty, the pointer. You also have, sometimes very common in doing videos, in making videos, you have the ability, when making videos, you sometimes run into a problem that you want two texts to appear at the same time. If you do that, you can duplicate this and will just animate just fine, but you need to move this obviously to the other side. And when you do that, you hope that this one should be starting from here instead of here. So you have an option to do that, which is right or left. You can make it right will be off, will be show off from the right, or from the left will be on if you want. And you can have multiple objects for sure, where this option is left in some and in the other it is right. You can have the ability to change that. And you also have the ability to make it from the top or the bottom. Top is very special, is very useful when you have a call out that goes from here and your object is here. You don't want to hide your object, so if you want to move this to the here, you can actually make it top or bottom, and you have the ability to change that. And you have the ability also to remove the whole arrow if you have just a text box that appear with some text that you want. This is also an option, and it is also animatable just like that. Basically these are the options that you have. Basically empty, you don't need to choose to append that empty. Just if you don't append it, you need to choose your empty that you are pointing to it. So it is basically an input here. A stroke is just if you didn't see this arrow here is made by geometry node by grease pencil. Grease pencil usually needs, if it is done in Blender geometry node, grease pencil doesn't show up if you don't have a grease pencil object in your scene. Even if it is not visible, that will be fine. That's fine. You just need it to be in your scene, whatever it is visible or not, and it will just have the information from the material so that you can have this arrow here, because it is made with grease pencil, because it is not affected by light, which is very suitable for a call out, which needs not to be affected by light. It needs to be visible all of the time, and it doesn't need any shadows or so. It just need to be very visible for you during the animation. And you also have the ability to um, and just and you also here I have here something that you can actually do also. You can change the font here, but unfortunately for Blender it is not yet capable of doing that. You can split this to be horizontal, make it like that, and if you go here to the geometry node, this is basically the geometry node that holds everything, that controls every flow in this Blender object, in this object. And if you zoom here to this node here, this node here is the one that controls the font. You can actually choose whatever font you want, something like that. It will be fine. You can choose this one. You have the ability to choose anyone. But unfortunately, you can't have this as an input here. So you need to actually go into geometry node to go to here and zoom into this node here, the only node that you need to think about, and you can change the font from here to whatever font you can see. But unfortunately, if as you can see here, because it is not an input, it is affecting both. It is affecting that and that. If you don't want that, you can actually see a workaround from it from that issue by duplicating this geometry node. If you duplicate this geometry node, you now this geometry node for this object is now completely separate from the other. So you can actually change here is this font to be something like that, and this one is not affected. Lastly, you may end up with an issue, a small issue, that you might not see your font, your word, because the font that I am using is not preloaded into onto your desktop. So what you can do, if you run into this problem, you can just choose this and go to this and choose whatever font you need, and it will be loaded just fine. So if you face this issue that you can't see the word, just come to this geometry node here and go to this node here and choose the font, the path to the font that you have into your on your desktop. Thank you very much for your watching.